Alright, so if you already did your guided instruction, you should be watching this video to kind of see if you did it right or if your ideas match mine, and if they don't, make sure you again ask for assistance. This is your easy way to end the day of just watching what's going on and making sure you understand. So before we go on to this stuff, let me go over these two guided instruction questions and make sure you understood what was going on. The first thing was that my x's went 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is good. I checked the common differences. This is plus 1. This is plus 7. This is plus, actually I think I'll have to do it in another way, but plus, I think that's 19. And this is plus 7 makes 37, so 37 here. Checking those common differences, from 1 to 7 is plus 6. I don't like this question. 1, 7. 9 makes 21, yep, 19. So let's see, that's plus 12 here, and this is plus 18. And then when I check those, I get 6 and 6. So what you should have found out here is that it took 3 checks to get it, which means that your base pattern on this should have been, actually let me do it this way so you can actually see. So plus 6 here, plus 12 there, plus 18 there, and then for that you get plus 6 and plus 6, which again took a 3 check, which means that it should be a base pattern of y equals x to the third. Once I have that, again list your numbers. 0 to the third is 0. 1 to the third, 1 times 1 is 1, times the third 1 is 1. 2 to the third, 2 times 2 is 4, times the third 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9, times the third 3 is 27. 4 times 4 is 16, times the third 4 is 64. My actual numbers though are 4, 5, 12, 31, and 68. And so checking for addition, subtraction, and multiplication, the easiest thing anytime I have a 0 is that I know I am adding 4 to get from 0 to 4. Because you can't multiply by a 0 and get a number. Anything times 0 is 0, so I know I'm adding 4 here. So a quick check, 1 plus 4 is 5, yep. 8 plus 4 is 12, 27 plus 4, yep, that works. So simply put plus 4 after that, and that should have been your answer there. X to the third plus 4. Alright. So again, do your common difference check, and by the way, this is nonlinear because your first check did not work. It's linear if your first check works. It is nonlinear if the first check does not work. So let's check this one here on B. Again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is good. This is plus 3 here, plus 9, 15, 21. Nonlinear. Checking this part though for your second part is plus 6, plus 6, plus 6. The fact that the second check works means that we are basing it off of y equals x squared. To do y equals x squared, that means take the number times itself. So we get our base off of 0 times 0, 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. And then we write the actual numbers here, 0, 3, 12, 27, 48. And again, you're obviously not adding because 0 leads to 0, so you have to be multiplying. What do you multiply 1 by to make 3? As far as I know, you multiply it by 3. 4 times 3 is 12, 9 times 3 is 27, so just put a 3 in front of that x squared, and that would wrap up your part, because the way you multiply by 3 is by putting a 3 attached to the variable. That is your answer to the second question. Alright, so you had 2 of those things to kind of look at to give yourself an idea. Now let's look at 3 quick questions together. Again, you don't have to write these, just make sure you're at least thinking through them and following along to make sure you understand what's going on, because this is what your quiz stuff is going to be about, and you need to at least see it to kind of have it in your head. Bottom line, write a rule for each one of these functions. So we got 3 of these things to look at. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is good. This is plus 4, plus 12, plus 20. I don't know what 64 minus 36 is, but we're going to see it. Plus 28. This is plus 8. This is also plus 8. This is also plus 8. First off, because that's there, we know it's nonlinear. because of this, we know it took 2 checks. And so we are looking at y equals x squared to some extent. We know it has to be x squared because it took 2 checks to get our common difference. Once again, we take our pattern here. 0 squared is 0, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. Our actual numbers are 0, 4, 16, 36, 64. Common sense tells me I cannot be adding or subtracting because I'm going from 0 to 0, so it has to be multiplication. And so I check to say, what do I multiply 1 by to make 4? That's of course times 4. Do a quick check. 4 times 4 is 16. Yep. 9 times 4 is 36. So it'll be times 4. And again, the way you fix that is by putting 4 in front of your base pattern. So 4x squared would be it as your final answer. Again, on your quiz, you're not going to know which one it is, so you have to kind of approach it carefully and make sure you know your rules. Looking at question number 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, plus 3 here, plus 3 here, plus 3 there, plus 3 there. Well, first check means it's linear. The second thing we learned is that whenever it is linear, we don't just put x, we put the common difference attached to x. So my base pattern is y equals 3x. If you remember that, again, y equals 3x because the common difference is 3. That only happens whenever the first common difference is the same. Other than that, now you put in your numbers. 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12. Putting down the actual numbers, you have 5, 8, 11, 14, and 17. And the only way I know to get from 0 to 5 is to add 5. 3 plus 5 is 8, 6 plus 5 is 11, 9 plus 5 is 14, so it has to be plus 5 as your adjustment, and that is the answer. That is something else you need to be ready for whenever that quiz pops up this week so you can get a good grade on it. So again, get your base. Because the first check work, you put that attached to x, and then you find your adjustment after you do your base. Alright. So again, any of these you don't understand, pause the video on the problem itself, bring the computer over to me and ask about whatever it is you don't understand. Here on the third problem, notice again 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is good. So now we check the common difference. Plus 1 there, 7 there, 13 to 32 is 19, 32 to 69 is 37. So definitely nonlinear. Checking the second part. Plus 6 there, plus 12 there, 19 to 37 is 18 there. So second check didn't work either. Third check, 6 to 12 is 6, 12 to 18 is 6. And because it took 3 checks, it means that our base pattern is y equals x to the third. We just have to figure out what else is going on. And so we do 0 times 0 times 0, which is 0, 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1, 2 times 2 times 2, which ends up being 8. Again, you can do that in your calculator if you want. 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And we just find out after a while that's 64. You might want to learn to memorize those patterns so you don't have to work so hard. Your actual pattern is 5, 6, 13, 32, and 69. And the only way I know to get 0 to 5 is to add 5. 1 plus 5 is 6, 8 plus 5 is 13, 27 plus 5, 32. And so based off of what I know, that would represent the answer that you're supposed to get. So other than that, again, make sure you've got this process down. Make sure you've got your graphing things understood, where you have the increase as one increases, the other one increases and decreases. And other than that, you should be okay in terms of working. So just make sure you understand what's going on. And again, make sure you're trying to get ready for your quiz on Friday, because that is the first quiz of your quarter and you don't want to start out with a bad grade on it. So ask about anything you don't understand. And other than that, like I said, good job today.